Minister for Agriculture and Waterways, the Honourable Vatimi Rayalu, for his contribution. The floor is yours, sir.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise to contribute to the debate on the 2023-24 appropriation bill, and like other honourable members who have spoken before me, offer my congratulations to the Honourable Minister for Finance for a well thought out and articulated 2023-2024 national budget. This is the budget for the future. It is the budget for the new Fiji. Mr. Speaker, sir, let me start by responding to comments from the opposition side. Right throughout the 2 days we have been hearing the opposition side bragging about their initiatives over the last 8 years. I would like to say to you that there is nothing new in government. There is nothing new in this world. We are all in this business together. You have been there for 8 years. You have had your chance to come up with the initiatives, and now it is our turn. Thank you for your initiatives, and we will see that we continue from where you left off and make sure that the people come first. Mr. Speaker, sir, as Minister responsible for Agriculture and Waterways, I would like to state that over the last 10 years, the budgets allocated to the Ministry of Agriculture has been on a reducing trend. There has been a lot of hot air, but nothing to show for it when it came to the money. Mr. Speaker, sir, if we want the agriculture sector to seriously grow the economy in a sustainable manner, then we must be willing to throw in the money to make it happen. If we choose to give money in drips and drops, then expect drips and drops in the sector's contribution to the national economy. What the agriculture sector needs is serious money to boost production and productivity right across the value chain. Mr. Speaker, sir, the allocation of 95.2 million to the Ministry of Agriculture and Waterways indicates the significance with which this government recognizes the importance of agriculture and its role in Fijian economic development. It is a major increase from the 64.1 million budget of the ministry in the last financial year, and is a welcome development that augurs well for the future of agriculture in Fiji as a major player in the economic sector. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Ministry of Agriculture and Waterways budget allocation are directed towards the provision of food and nutritional security to all Fijians, income security, and to enhance agricultural growth and expansion to stimulate economic activities. This will in turn bolster sector performance, generate export income, ensure sustainable livelihoods, and build community resilience in Fiji's agriculture sector. Mr. Speaker, sir, during my tenure as Minister, I will ensure that the private sector is engaged as much as possible in the activities of the Ministry of Agriculture with a view to increase agro-processing and value addition of commodities as a way out of the seasonality of most of our commodities. Mr. Speaker, sir, let me say that the Ministry of Agriculture is not the engine of growth in the agriculture sector. It is the private sector. So, a fully fledged agro-processing sector will contribute in a big way to increase production, increase employment, increase economic activity, increase in exports, and overall growth in the economy. Mr. Speaker, sir, let me touch on some of the key areas that the Ministry would be focusing on. At production level, the Ministry has been allocated a budget of 2 million to continue to support farm access roads, which are the veins of development at farm level. Mr. Speaker, sir, without farm roads, farming in Fiji is backbreaking. Even horses give up due to the rough terrain under which our farmers operate. I know that most of us here are farmers ourselves, including the opposition leader. And they understand very much what I'm saying. Planting becomes a problem when it comes to harvesting. You can talk as much as possible to a farmer about planting thousands of dalosacas or thousands of yangona plants, but inside the mind of the farmer, he is thinking, come the day of harvesting, who is going to carry all this load back to where it will be sold? This is the purpose of these farm access roads, Honourable Speakers. We need farm access roads. We need to improve farm access roads in order for our farmers to have access to their farms and also to the markets. On farm mechanization, Mr. Speaker, sir, farm mechanization is an area that the Ministry will support to ensure mass production and economic viability. The Ministry has been allocated 400,000, which will be given to farming groups on a 1/3 to 2/3 basis for the purchase of tractors and excavators and farm implements with a view to ensuring mass production. On machinery outsourcing, the demand for machinery services continues to increase over the years, Mr. Speaker, sir, due to the commercialization of farms in the agriculture sector. However, this allocation has been reduced from 7 million to 1 million this year. We have had discussions with Ministry of Finance officials, and we felt that the funds should be reallocated into other programs within the Ministry of Agriculture budget, partly due to the underutilization of these funds over the last financial year due to the hiccups in the government tender process. On women in agriculture, Mr. Speaker, sir, 300,000 is allocated for women in agriculture development. The Ministry recognizes the immense contribution made by women in both subsistence and informal income generating sectors, and they will be supported through our farming programs, particularly in vanilla and floriculture production. These assistance would cover capacity building training for women and the improvement of nurseries and the provision of seed planting material for their farms. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Ministry has embarked on an initiative with investors from Israel. This is to address large-scale production technologies. To date, we have around 3 projects that we should be finalizing over the next few weeks. There are 2 large-scale vegetable production projects that will be based in the Singatoka Valley, and 1 dairy production facility that will be based in the Central Division. Mr. Speaker, sir, we have a number of new programs. Procurement of small farm machines. We have been purchasing big machines, tractors, excavators, but power tillers and hand rotovators will enable land preparation to support high-yielding crops like vegetables, and the program will also support the procurement of the Angona pounding machines and the Angona drying equipment. Mr. Speaker, sir, during my maiden speech, I had alluded to the poor state of the Ministry's staff living quarters. I am happy to say that the Ministry has been allocated $1 million to address this very problem. And I thank the Minister for Finance for this allocation. On the subsidy for fertilizer and weedicides, Mr. Speaker, sir, a $1 million subsidy to support the cost for fertilizer and weedicides has been given. It targets key commodities such as rice, ndalo, and ginger, and these subsidies are expected to cushion the high cost of inputs and enable farmers to sell their produce at affordable prices to the domestic market. This is seen as a way of boosting production in terms of volume to boost exports and reduce the imports of fresh agricultural produce into Fiji. Mr. Speaker, sir, there is an initiative for a regional training center to be based out of Ndombuilewu Research Station in Reykjavik. This center will be used to demonstrate modern technology and for the training of ministry extension officers in Fiji as well as the region on the modern agriculture technology techniques. On organic agriculture, the development of organic agriculture is gaining momentum in Fiji and the Pacific. And it has enormous benefits. Given the concerns on NCDs. People are now turning to health foods, and countries are now turning to foods that are proven to be grown in pristine environments as a way to healthy living. The Ministry has made a serious commitment to develop organic agriculture in Fiji. And over the next 3 years, we will convert one of our research stations, Nandurulolo Research Station, to solely undertake research and development of organic agriculture in Fiji. On the Agriculture Marketing Authority, Mr. Speaker, sir, the Ministry continues to support AMA, and there is an increase in their budget by 800,000 with an allocation of 3 million for the improvement of the infrastructure and facilities in order for AMA to meet the expected volume of produce that they are going to purchase. Tutu and Nabuso are two of our training institutions where young farmers are being trained, and the Ministry continues to provide support for these two institutions for the benefit of the agriculture sector. Let me turn to waterways, Mr. Speaker, sir. The maintenance and well-being of Fiji's waterways remains the responsibility of the people themselves. Communities must learn to take good care of the rivers and streams as part of their livelihood provisions. Government has a duty to safeguard these waterways should communities fail to live up to their responsibilities. Mr. Speaker, sir, for watershed management, 1.2 million has been allocated. Mr. Speaker, sir, the drainage overflooding problem continues to be an issue with the in this country, and the ministry has taken steps to reintroduce the drainage board. Mr. Speaker, sir, the ministry is of the view that the reintroduction of the drainage board will help immensely in taking the load off the waterways division in terms of the maintenance and upkeep of most of the irrigation schemes, as well as most of the structures which has been neglected for as long as we can remember. But I would not like to play the blame game. We will get on with the job. We will fix the floodgates. We will fix the seawalls, and we will make sure that the services that we need to provide to the people are given in a timely manner. Mr. Speaker, sir, let me conclude by stating once again my appreciation to the Minister for Finance for presenting a well thought out and well planned national budget. And I know that this budget will go a long way in elevating the living standards of farmers and enable us to build our economy for our future generation. I extend my full support for the bill. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Minister for Agriculture, for your contribution.